Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's going to be kind of a short one because I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so I'm just trying to get this one out, but I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless. So today it's going to be about this Oberon build that I've been using since he got his rework, and honestly I've been really enjoying it. But first let's go over Oberon's abilities and his passive, that way you know what you're getting yourself into. So basically the way Oberon's passive works is when he picks up health orbs, he puts a little rotating shield around himself and allies that basically absorb 3 hits completely. Doesn't matter what it is, just 3 whole hits are absorbed, and then every time he picks up a health orb, it refreshes those shields. So if he picks up enough health orbs, he can basically keep his allies alive forever. His first ability is called Smite. So what Smite does is basically you point and click on hit an enemy with it, and once you've done that, that enemy will then take a massive burst of damage, and then spread that damage around to nearby allies. The damage scales with the enemy's level, health, shield, armor, overguard, etc. This is a really great ability, especially for high-level content, because at some point they become so tanky that it does so much damage it just instantly kills everything, which is kind of nuts. His second ability is called Hallowed Ground, so basically he places a big grass circle on the floor, and all enemies inside are then irradiated and attack each other, and all allies inside are given status immunity. On its own, not an amazing ability, but it has great synergy with his third ability, so it's super important for this build. His third ability is called Renewal. So the way this works is when he casts it, he constantly drains energy. In exchange, all allies nearby in affinity range gain a massive increase of armor, as well as a constant health regen buff. In addition, there's a really cool augment for this ability that when an ally dies, instead of dying, they resurrect with 50% of their HP, and then there's a 90-second cooldown. So every 90 seconds, Oberon or his allies can just die and not actually die, which is really good because this build centers around Oberon not dying, and he shouldn't die anyway, but if you do have that 1 in a million chance where you do die with this build, the Phoenix Renewal will cover your ass. And also, it's really great for your Robot Sentinel, so you don't have to wait for them to come back up to do their thing. In addition, the health regen and the armor buff is doubled if Oberon is standing within the range of his second ability. His fourth ability is called Reckoning, so basically what that does is he casts it, lifts up any enemies nearby into the air, and then throws them back down onto the ground, and it reduces their armor, it increases his armor, and it also makes them drop health orbs, which is really awesome for keeping his passive up. But unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of it since it takes a lot of effort to keep it going, so basically I just subsume that off for Nourish, which what Nourish does here is basically it gives him a constant energy influx. Obviously, Nourish also gives you the viral damage in your weapons, but that's kind of a side thing here. The main thing we want here is basically just a source of energy. Alternately, if you prefer, you can also use Bright Bonnet on this build. I've just been using Nourish since that was a thing before Noko was a thing, so I didn't have Bright Bonnet, but Bright Bonnet works just as well. Or in fact, Bright Bonnet will actually work better if you plan to be stationary and staying inside of your 2 all the time anyway. If you plan to be mobile, Nourish is definitely the better option though. So this build is really simple. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to do, honestly. If you don't have the Umbral mons, you can always just do the regular versions of them. You do not need the Umbrals here, and you can just use regular continuity or Archon continuity. I just use primed because I like it and I have it. But basically the simple idea is I have a ton of health, I have a ton of armor, and I have Arcane Persistence. So I take as little damage as possible and basically just regen it all back with my second and my third ability, which basically make it so you're very hard to kill. But even if you do lose your health bar and somehow your passive doesn't continue to proc, you're then left with a situation where you have Rage and Hunter Adrenaline, which when you take health damage, you are given energy, which is multiplied by Nourish. So Nourish makes it so you have full energy pretty much all the time. As you see, I've got 846 cap because of Arcane Battery, which goes up a little bit more when you're in a mission and you actually cast your 3. And then if you take lethal damage to your health, you actually have Quick Thinking, which basically drains your energy to stop you from dying from that, which anytime you're taking lethal damage with Quick Thinking, you're also gaining energy at the same time as well, given that you still have 1 HP, and it still technically counts as taking health damage, especially since you have your 3 up, you're constantly regenerating. And then somehow, if you somehow manage to die through all of that, you have Phoenix Renewal, which once every 60 seconds, sorry, earlier I said 90 seconds, I was wrong. It's every 60 seconds. I think they changed it when they reworked him. Every 60 seconds, you basically just, nah, I don't feel like dying. I'm just gonna keep going. So the entire build, the whole premise is literally just stand there, eat damage, do not care. I have Prime Sure-Footed because I'm a very mobile person. I run around constantly, and even though his 2 does give you status immunity, I still hate the idea of being knocked down when I run out of his 2 on accident, so I just have Prime Sure-Footed just to be safe. But you could use Power Drift, you could use so many other Excellence mods. Anything works here, really. Preparation's great. Like I said, Power Drift, you could use Handspring, you could use Endurance Drift. Anything really works here. It's totally up to you. But yeah, basically the idea is make sure you have your 2 and your 3 and your 4 up all the time. And if you see a big tanky enemy, just press 1 on it, blow it up, because you have so much energy, you should not have an issue being able to spam your 1 like crazy. Honestly, I've got a friend who uses this build, and they spam their 1 constantly and never really use their weapons, which is kind of funny. In fact, I've got several of my friends who use this build who do that, so it's actually totally doable. So here I'm going to show you how the build works in an extreme scenario where they're shooting the hell out of you and you're trying your best to stay alive. So basically I'm going to be running my 2, my 3, and my 4, and you're going to see just how immortal I am because of the status immunity, the energy tanking, the armor, the health regen. They just won't be able to kill me. So I'll summon them, and then I will turn on my 3, I'll turn on my 2, I'll turn on my 4, and here they go. They're going to start shooting the shit out of me, and we're just going to see how long it takes them to kill me. So as you can see, no matter what they do, they just can't kill me. I'm just way too tanky for them. Eventually, they're just gonna start killing themselves off. As you see, this one's kind of low. Some of them other ones are just kind of getting low. Like, they're effectively just killing themselves at this point. Like, there's no world in which they do kill me. This build also works really, really well in EDA, ETA, level cap, anything you could possibly want. This build is excellent in. I've run it in circuit for several hours at a time. It's just insane how good it is. There is no real world in which you die. The only issue is, can you do the damage? Which, you know, your weapons might not be good enough, which is a whole nother thing. But Smite's also pretty good. You know, you can always get them pretty low with your Smite, especially the ones that are higher HP. Very good ability, great at absolutely nuking them. So, you know, that's pretty much it. You just run around and never die and hope your weapons are good enough to kill them. And if not, you use a bit of Smite and it helps out too. And you can spam the hell out of Smite because you're taking damage, which gives you more energy, which obviously gives you plenty of resources to use Smite. Like, I'm spamming it, and I cannot use the energy quick enough because I'm just taking so much damage. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it, especially those of you who have come back over and over. You mean so much to me, you have no idea. If you like the video, make sure to leave a comment, a like, a subscribe. You know, all of that really, really helps. Also down below in the description, I do have a Discord server, so if you are interested in joining and talking and hanging out and chatting about Warframe and other nonsense, just feel free. I even have a channel where you can post your cats and your dogs, which by the way are my favorite channels in the whole server because I love animals. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.